Greetings and Namaste. My name is Siobhan. Thank you for tuning into my channel. You can find me on YouTube at bluersyatf and on Facebook as Siobhan Heal. I do angelic universal regression and alchemy sessions as well as Reiki, crystal healings, activations, crystalline upgrades, and several different types of readings, including Twin Flame and Divine Union and Toltec Oracle readings, which is one of my favorites. I also do crystal readings as well. Plainly, if you have a question about your galactic origin or healing, inner child and shadow work, and even the healing between divine unions and twin flames, definitely look into messaging me or checking out more of my work on YouTube or Facebook. So today, I guess I should give a warning. So today we are exploring topics. I want people to really begin to understand that we are here in the third dimension. We are ascending and integrating more of our higher selves, and the primary way to do that is by integration of the higher self, which is a continuous process until you return to 0 point, until you return to source. Plain and simple, we knew that coming here and incarnating on the earth as a starseed or of angelic origin, depending on basically how high into your soul stream you can tap and based on where you came from, that you would not remember. That's one of the things about coming here. You would not remember, but there's a process of remembering. And it is important to tune in, tap in, connect with Mother Gaia consciousness, connect with your higher self, the oversoul, ascended ancestors, angelic beings, and star beings. Now, in this process, me personally, from my experience and what I have observed, if you have not started integrating your higher self, it can be very dangerous to be connecting with other energies, because the integration of the higher self helps to develop discernment, to be able to determine and distinguish one's alignment with source. We are moving away from being good and bad. This is more about, are you in alignment? Can you determine or distinguish or feel one's heart? Does not matter the words that someone chooses to use if they are not in alignment with their own higher self, with source, with the light. If you're not in alignment, if you're not connected to your higher self, you cannot have someone else's best interest at heart, because you would be lacking true wisdom. So how do you integrate the higher self? You have to start with the connection through the heart chakra. You have to activate and clear that heart chakra. How do you clear your heart chakra? You start off by clearing childhood trauma, by integrating, doing your shadow work. Shadow work is not easy, and it is not fast. It is not a process that is done quickly. And if you have not taken the time to do your shadow work, these energies are going to force you, and it might be painful until you decide to start doing it. But what I can tell you is the more you do it, the easier you will have adapting to these energies. Many of us will be transmuting for ourselves and our own lineages, our own families. You have to start there. You have to start with the self to be of benefit to other people. The more you heal and integrate, especially if you are a transmuter, and there's different degrees of transmuting, and like basically as your capacity as a transmuter will have a lot to do with either your mission or your origin. But as a transmuter, the more you heal and clear your chakras, the more you will be able to transmute on, as far as your city, as far as the state, as far as a country, and even sending love and light to other planets. You can do that from here, physically. So basically, today's message will probably challenge some people's belief systems. It will probably challenge some people's cognitive dissonance. which cognitive dissonance is either your ability to process and accept new information or your choice to reject and discard anything that does not fit your current belief system. Generally speaking, when it comes to belief systems, especially if you are desiring the highest amount of truth, desiring the purest connection to your higher self, and allowing the purest messages to come through, you will not have a strict belief system that you're attached to. If you have a strong attachment to certain beliefs, whether you've read them, whether you've been told them, whether you picked them up in, as a child or in schooling or education, or even from other light workers or the disclosure community. If you have a very strong attachment to your belief systems, you are going to have cognitive dissonance every time a new concept is introduced to you or expanded upon. So many of the messages we receive will be expanded upon as we continue to ascend and expand. They will be clarified, confirmed, or expanded upon. It is very important in order to receive clear messages that you don't think you know everything. Like if you think you know on any subject, then that is like a red flag from your ego. If you think you already know. If you think you already read it, if you think you already learned about this subject, if you think you already read what someone else had to say, if you think your higher self even gave you the whole story, when your capacity will continue to expand the more you integrate your higher self, then that could be a sign that your ego may be bigger than you thought it was. So plain and simple, even when I first started receiving messages, it was very clear that the Oversoul would give me information based on the level that I could understand it, and that as time went on, they would expand on those concepts. So from the beginning, I was told not to have a strong attachment to even the information they were giving me, because they would expand and clarify the information. So today we will be exploring topics regarding the Book of Genesis. And I'll demonstrate how these messages came about. Mind you, when I was receiving these messages, I did not have a Bible with me. And to be quite honest, I probably have not read my Bible in several years. So I had no idea messages would be coming forward about the Bible. Another quick note. The last message I just did, maybe about 2 weeks ago now, I actually did some exploration about the Ten Commandments. So if you're interested on some perspectives about the Ten Commandments, I would look at the last video I published. I believe it was called A Time of Rapid Transformation. Thank you. So let's see, how did this month's journey start off? So we had the 9-9 portal, 9-9-19, which today is 9-19-19. So, which I'm not going to go into too much detail about these different dates because I want to stay on topic with the message I have today. But on the 9-9 portal, I pulled, I did a small reading for myself just to have a basic, idea of some of the energy that I was transmuting or to be working on. And I pulled the Mother Healing card from my mermaid deck. Mother Healing. And when I pulled this card, I was immediately assured, this is bigger than your mother. Not just your mother. We're talking about Gaia mother type energy. As your feelings towards your mother heal, your desires manifest more rapidly and accurately. So still clearing more with the Mother Gaia energy to manifest a new earth. By drawing this card, heaven asks you to release some remaining mother issues. Give the entire situation to heaven, knowing that everything is in the hands of infinite spirit. The situation may heal in unexpected ways. Be unconcerned with how it heals and be vigilant in releasing any lower energies connected to your mother that could interfere with your life's mission, which is ascension. We are here to ascend this planet. I know there's lots of people that are ready to go, lots of star seeds, lots of galactics, lots of incarnated beings from other universes, and they're just ready to go, but you came here to ascend the planet. So that's what we're here to do. So that is our mission. So basically, they were letting me know that we were going to be further clearing some of the interference regarding Mother Gaia, regarding the grid lines, regarding the curses that have been done to the land, which, this is not the first time they've spoken to me about the curses done to the land of our Mother Gaia. So that was a card I pulled on 9/9. By 9/13, that night after midnight was the full moon. That day when I woke up on the 14th, I've actually had new etchings on one of my Andaran crystals. And this one actually is an ocean Andaran, but I consider it my mermaid Andaran, as it was like basically gifted to me by the Mermaid Queen. So I call it my mermaid Andaran, but it's a ocean Andaran, very connected to the Mermaid Kingdom. And it actually had like 2 etchings in it that looked like someone took a laser and like etched into the crystal. We did a collective meditation with the group I meditate with on Sunday, September 15th. And then just after midnight, which would make it the 16th, but that night, Sunday night, just after midnight, I actually started my moon, my cycle. It was an excessive pain. It was abnormal. It was abnormal pain. And for this, we'll just say for this week, but for these couple of days, I'm going to talk about in some of the messages and what I did. Had no pain meds available. Not in the house. Of course, I could have went and brought some, but actually I was told to not get pain meds. And the reason I didn't have any pain meds was because they needed me to transmute this energy versus numbing it or accepting it. Like no longer accepting this pain, because this pain is not normal. It is not a part of our original process. And I'm going to explain some of the things I was told. Don't get me wrong, I do Reiki and alchemy and flow energy and all that, but usually the first 24 to 36 hours I will take pain meds to help ease the pain of my cycle, which that's another story, but we won't get into that. So anyway, so basically this time there were no pain meds available, on purpose. They're like, nope, we need to transmute this energy, and we're doing it this week with this energy. So again, today's 9/19. So pretty much between that midnight, let me see, early that morning, so that would be Monday morning, I pretty much did 3 sessions. So I did the first session I did on my own with my guides. So by that night on Monday night, I did the Arcturian Healing Chamber by Steve Noble with my guides again, and the Oversoul. Multiple kingdoms, multiple elemental kingdoms, dragon kingdoms, Mother Gaia herself. And then Tuesday, that would have been Tuesday, because I wrote this on the 17th. So the notes I wrote were the day, or the after the session. My brother Todd messaged me and asked if he could assist, because I did make him in a small group. The group I meditate with made them aware of some of the energy I was working through. And it's like, yes, of course. So my brother Todd connected with me, and he was helping to assist in processing this energy. Again, lots of guides, my higher self, my twin's higher self. And I also had the Mermaid Ocean Andara and a Moonstone available to assist with the transmuting of the energy. So at this time, I'm pretty much going to read the notes I had taken, and then we will get into what was said about the Bible. Okay. So as I began relaxing and preparing to transmute this energy for the third session, so this is the third session with my brother Todd, I started to feel energy flowing and pain in my abdomen. And I did get nervous because I'm telling you, Monday was intense and it hurt. And I took lots of herbs and I was flowing lots of energy. And I had gotten nervous. I had gotten nervous when I started to relax and, felt the energy start to flow. And my higher self actually sat, above or behind my head and started rubbing my head and comforting me and assured me that it would not be painful today. So I did thank her for that. So assured me it would not be painful and to just continue to take deep breaths. To just take deep breaths. So at my feet, it was so beautiful because I felt my twin and I felt Todd. And it was almost like as we are ascending, even when we see our guides and we know that there's presence of lots of energy or lots of guides, present. Sometimes, because we're all one. So sometimes that energy starts to it flows, like you can't even tell where it ends and where it stops. But because it was my twin and Todd, I actually wanted to see them. So yes, it was my twin, his higher self, and then Todd was behind him, assisting with the energy. And they were both at my feet together. So many were gathered and assisting. We were together transmuting what I was told was a dark energy curse that had been placed into the feminine, directly connected to our Mother Gaia. So even as the females or the feminine of the earth were cursed, so was Mother Gaia, as we are all connected. So the dark energy before had been like an elusive dark smoke that we couldn't identify, that remained hidden. This is another reason why it's so important to do shadow work. Because without awareness is so important. Once you become aware, then that gives you the knowledge and the ability that something needs to be healed. This is another reason why the disclosure community is important. It is important to become aware of these things. It's just being careful to not focus in anger once you become aware of these things. Even if of course, some of these things are really disturbing, but understand that they've been going on without your knowledge anyway. So to stay focused in anger is not serving ascension. That's why we don't want you to stay focused there. But the awareness is necessary so you can understand how you can start helping to heal these things, whether or not, because if you're connected with your higher self, you're going to be guided to assist in certain areas. What areas? What is your mission? What did you come here to assist with? What did you come here to speak out against? What did you come here to bring awareness to? What gifts did you come to bring to the earth? What did you come here to transmute or heal or provide some sort of understanding about? That's why we don't want you to get stuck. Because it can become a vicious cycle, which the dark ones know. They don't care if you find out about what they're doing, because the majority are just going to be angry. And they can just as well feed on your angry energy as they can feed on your trauma energy. So once you begin to understand energy, then you can transmute or interact within this environment more efficiently and more effectively. So what is it that you came here to do about it? How are you transmuting it? How are you changing it? How are you helping the collective? How are you a benefit? Because if you are here, you are a benefit. Otherwise, you would not be here. So what is it that you came here to do? And the only way to know, the only way to serve is by the connection of your higher self. Those of us that are the strongest are helping people to connect with their higher selves. Some people might get offended by that. Some people might get frustrated because they can't hear from their higher self yet. But that is not to frustrate you. It is to be an example to show you that if I can do it, you can too. Because at some point, I could not hear, or I could not hear consistently, and I was not always listening. So, and that is for all people. That is for all people. And the key is how consistently, how soon can you get an answer? You know, at one point it might have taken me a month or 2 weeks to get an answer. Not to say that they were taking that long to give me the answer, but it might have took me that long to realize that that was the answer. So, you know, this takes practice, and nobody gets it right away. It takes practice, and you will have tests. You will be tested in astral. If you haven't seen classrooms yet in your dream time, you will see them soon. You will get tests and training while you're sleeping. This is an ongoing process. So, let me see here. Okay. So what is kept hidden? What is kept hidden beyond your awareness is almost impossible to heal. If it is not brought to your awareness, if you don't allow it to be brought to your awareness, if you are always ignoring it, pushing it away, not wanting to deal with it, it cannot be healed. And that energy, whatever it is, will get stronger until you're ready to deal with it, even if it requires pain. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't always require pain. You can start healing before it hurts. Like, it only starts hurting when you have not dealt with it. If it's hurting and manifesting as an illness or a disease, that means they've showed you time and time and time again, and you have ignored it. And don't feel bad about it, because I did too. I did too. That is what's so beautiful about the human experience. There's so many people that think they are alone, or they're the only ones that suffered, or things have happened to them. Lots of us have almost died. It's not just you. Like, we're here to assist each other and support each other through the transitions, through the dark nights of the soul. Some of us, many of us might have went through our dark nights alone, but the community is so big now, none of us should have to. And then, like, even the more we're ascending, our children won't even have to experience a dark night of the soul. And you should be proud of that. Be proud of it. Don't be like, some people might be angry, like they should have to suffer too. No, they should not. No, they should not have to suffer. Because if people are still suffering, that means we're not ascending. The more we ascend, the more all these negative programs, these curses are coming to an end now. And understand now in a multi-dimensional way. It is not now in a linear understanding. Now in a multi-dimensional way, multiple timelines, multiple dimensions, multiple fractals of you. Like, we are here, we are lineage breakers. We are restorers of the organic templates and the original ancient builder race grids. This is what we came here to do. So, as many of us are rising, the dark energy is now being forced to take form so that we first become aware of its presence and now are able to heal it. So whatever this energy is that they were helping me to transmute, which was beyond myself, not saying that it's completed. You know, I'm pretty sure there's several or many others. There's probably ones that were doing it before me. There's ones that's going to be doing it before me or after me. From my understanding, though, we are doing this on behalf of the collective so that every single female does not have to go through this, because it is not an easy energy to identify or transmute. So let me see here. So this energy has to do with the original energy placed at the time of the takeover of Mother Gaia. So it's very connected to the Anunnaki and the reptilians. I also want to put this out there for clarification. And I would encourage you, and this is about any being or their intentions. Do your work to connect to your higher self and ask. Ask for confirmation. Ask for clarification. Ask for expansion on anything it is that you believe. Because if it is true, your higher self can verify it. The Anunnaki are fallen angelic aspects. They're not even the original elder angelics. They're angelic fractals. They are fallen. They are disconnected from the light, regardless of if they're healing or not right now. And then the only way you can determine if they're healing or not is if you have discernment. Taking their word for it, I would not advise. If your higher self says so, then maybe. But taking any being's word for it, just because they said, I'm loving. I love the human race. I'm here to help you. Anybody can say that. If you've dealt with a narcissist, you should know better. Like, you deal with these things to learn and understand how important discernment is versus someone just speaking things out of their mouth. These were examples that Yeshua was giving in the Bible. Just because you speak it out your mouth does not make it true. I would feel it from your heart. That is heart discernment. Discernment is guidance from the higher self. Ego. I don't like this about you. I don't like that you did this. I don't like that you dress this way, or you speak this way, or you present this topic this way. That is a judgment from your ego. Discernment is guidance from the higher self, assisting you to understand how connected someone is to the light and possibly even their traumas. Understanding where they need further healing or why they are presenting a message the way that they are, or interacting with you the way that they are based on their out of line. I mean, because it's not a you're in alignment or you're not. It doesn't work that way. And plus, it's more flow. Everything is flow. You flow in and out of alignment all the time. In certain subjects, you could be confused about based on strict belief systems or not healed in a certain area, so you misunderstand something. There's lots of reasons why people have misunderstandings and distortions. The point is to continue the integration with your higher self to have less distortion. So basically, the Anunnaki are fallen angelic aspects. They are not creators. They are not creators of the human race. They are not creators of the earth. They came here to conquer the earth. They came here working with the reptilians to conquer the earth. They are not the creators or the descendants of the indigenous people of earth at all. It actually hurts my heart and the hearts of the creators for indigenous Black people, Indian people, natives, aboriginals, Black people, Africans, whatever you want to call yourself, to believe you are a descendant of an Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are not Elohim. That is a disgrace to even put them in the same category. You know, if it's offensive or it offends you, then you might want to consider asking your higher self about it. So, it's not to be offensive. This is truth. They're not the same at all. They're not the ancient builder race. They're more the pre-Adamites that Corey Good speaks about. And the Anunnaki created 13 bloodlines in order to use them, control them, and make them in their image, which is disconnected from the light of source. That's their image, disconnected from the light. The reptilians are master geneticists. If you think someone tinkering with genetics is in alignment with light, it's not. But I'll get into that. I'll speak about that a little bit later here. But I just want to make that very clear, very clear about that. There's no confusion in that area. They are not the ancient builder race elders, angelics, or the Elohim. And they're not in alignment with the light. Some of them may be healing because all beings at this point, I shouldn't say all beings, but all beings have been warned that you need to reconnect with the light or you will cease to exist. You will cease to exist. This is why beings disconnected from the light feed off of other creations, other beings, because they're not getting the direct source light energy. So they have to consume it from someone else. That is how the reptilians maintain their bodies on this planet, is by eating other beings connected to the light. And they can't even eat soulless beings. Like, they have to eat actual humans that possess a soul. And children. So no, we are not accepting, passively accepting that this is okay. It's not okay. The Creator has said it's not okay. The Oversouls have said it's not okay. And Mother Gaia herself has said it's not okay. You came here to serve others, to serve the light, to serve creation, and to assist Mother Gaia. And this is another thing I want to point out, because there's so many people arguing and debating whether or not certain beings are in alignment with the light or not. You came here to serve Mother Gaia. We understood, because as you continue to integrate, you will get certain remembrances. We literally sat in classes and prepared before coming here, understanding we would not remember. So if the Creator and the Oversouls understood that you would not remember, don't you think that they decided before sending us here how we would deal with the reptilians and the Anunnaki and the Greys and any other being disconnected from the light? Don't you think we figured that out before we came here to forget? Like, the best possible chance at healing and ascending any planet is when you remembered who you were, not when you're here trying to remember who you are. We figured it out before we came here. So there's nothing to figure out about how to heal them or what to do with them. That was decided before we got here. Your mission is not even about them. Your mission is to heal yourself and integrate your higher self so you can help Mother Gaia heal, raise the vibration here so that they cannot physically stand the energy here. They have altered and changed the electromagnetic sphere so that they can withstand the energy here, which makes you sick. No, we're here to restore Mother Gaia. We didn't come here to restore reptilians. We didn't come here to help them and heal them. Oh, we feel sorry for them because they can't live without eating people. We didn't come here for them. We came here to assist Mother Gaia. Mother Gaia called you here. So what is Mother Gaia's opinion about what to do with them? Or how they should be restored, or how they should be healed, or where they should go, or how they are to be healed? You can't heal them regardless. They have to return to Source for their healing. Now, those of us that know how are able to assist them to returning to the light. But you have to have the connection with your higher self to even know if that's part of your mission or not. And if it's not part of your mission, okay, that's not for you to do. Find out what it is for you to do. So, plain and simple, you are here to integrate your higher self, to heal your bloodlines, to heal and transmute the energy within your lineage, to heal your shadows, to integrate it into the light. That is how we raise the vibration here. So I did pull out my Bible. So while I was going through this healing session, which was so beautiful, I was receiving several messages that there are several Anunnaki curses in the book of Genesis. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. So I'll read the messages I got, then I'm going to read the part in the book of Genesis. Because if you actually paid attention to the book of Genesis, or pulled it out and read it again, the first chapter doesn't even flow into the second chapter of Genesis. And I realized this years ago. When you read Genesis, it's like somebody took two books and put them together. They don't even flow. So, when you use discernment, you can feel when a message has been altered, when a message has been added. It's almost like chapter 2 and 3 is Anunnaki Bible. Like, it's weird, but I'm telling you, read through this stuff with your higher self and your guides. This is not the same story. These are like two stories put together. So this is like, part of this is the Anunnaki Bible. It is not the true Bible, the original Bible. So Source Creator nor Mother Gaia kicked humanity out of Eden. the Anunnaki removed humanity and humans out of Eden. And the way they did this, or part of what they did, was by destroying the trees. I shared a documentary called There Are No Forests on Earth. I mean, really go through that and look at that. And it's very related to the Avatar movie. They destroy the trees. And how do I know that this is true? Because prior to watching the documentary, in Angelic Universal Regression Alchemy sessions, the Oversouls were already saying that our trees were the mountains. The mountains are the remnants of what a tree is. And so in this documentary, they were showing, mesas where they've been like flattened, because it was literally a huge tree stump that was cut down, and then the mountains. And I think they were saying like certain mountains, volcanoes. This is like mind blowing. Volcanoes are not even an act of nature. It's like the rubble of knocking down trees and chemicals piled up by huge machinery and waste, and probably nuclear waste, where it's like Mother Gaia is like trying to cleanse that and get rid of that energy, and that's what you'll see a volcano erupt. But that's not even natural. Volcanoes are not even natural to Earth. It's like the waste from all the damage they did to Mother Gaia, and they put it somewhere and called it a mountain or a volcano. You should be disturbed when you find out what they've really done to Mother Gaia. But like I said, watch the documentary with the open mind and consider. You can watch sessions. I've done sessions like one of the last sessions titled "You Are Worthy." The I Am Oversoul stated that your mountains, mesas, were the original trees before they were cut down. And as we ascend Mother Gaia, that all of that will be restored. And that's another thing. Just keep doing your work. Don't focus on stuff you can't, assist right away. Like even when I know certain people speak of, at this density, star beings cannot land. But as we ascend the planet, they can interact with us, they can land, and they will come to assist the cleanup of Mother Gaia. So the earth will be restored. Civilizations, mountains are the trees, the mountains, the trees are so huge, civilizations could live within them. I know your mind can't possibly comprehend that, and it's understandable. But also another key point about that documentary, they talked about the silicone trees, the crystallized trees. Well, we are upgrading to a crystalline body. Is it possible that we are being restored to our original crystalline bodies, which means that humans have already had crystalline bodies? Just like they destroyed the crystalline trees, they destroyed lots of proof, or have kept it hidden, human remains in crystalline bodies, and also giants and things of that nature. So the Anunnaki, their purpose was to disconnect us from the light of Source and our Divine Mother, and for us to serve our conquerors. This is why the original trees were destroyed. They cursed us to pain, abuse, and trauma. They cursed us to pain of childbirth. They cursed us to working for them. We literally work to serve them. And at the time we were mining for gold, mining for oil. We still mine for oil. We serve their international banking system. All these things. But we were cursed to work for them. Pain during our cycles, pain during childbirth, in hopes that we would hate creating and hate our own children. When they speak of, there's different distortions in the Bible, and they claim angels got so jealous. Angels ain't jealous. Angels are the creators. Reptilians are jealous. Fallen angels are jealous because they can't create anymore. They can only change, manipulate, distort, but they cannot create. Any being disconnected from the light cannot create. Just as the grays cannot birth their own children. They cannot create either. A lot of them are clones, which is why they are healing, which I would still caution connecting or talking to one of them, especially if you're lacking the discernment and your higher self is not advising this, because you would not be able to tell if that gray is lying to you or not. But they know that they need to heal. Most of them do. Some of the males are still way stuck in their ego to even understand that they need to heal. But there are some that are aware that they have to heal if they want to exist in future timelines. They themselves cannot create, only manipulate and alter genes. That's why they are master geneticists. They also cursed humanity to return to the dust, the earth. Human souls, period, regardless of where you incarnate, are to return to the light of source. Because humans, their souls, or human origin, I should say, they, like, during the original plan, with their soul expansion, they will be able to incarnate on other planets. What's been done here on the earth, which is being cleared and healed, we are restoring the original incarnation process where they can incarnate on other planets. So a curse, cursing to return to the dust was a curse to get stuck in the reincarnation cycle. It basically is a curse to hopefully get you stuck in the grid lines, basically. Not returning to the light. Some of this is done by teachings of you being sinful, God not forgiving you, and then out of fear you also don't go to the organic light. And there is an unnatural light that traps people or souls into the reincarnation cycle as well, or the incarnation cycle, or the grid lines. It actually tracks you into the grid lines, being stuck as trauma energy. But understand, a healed soul, is able to receive guidance. Like a healed soul, like their guides would come for them when you transcend, when you die. And you'd be taken to the hall of transporting of souls. It's only souls that are traumatized, that cannot sense their spirit guides or their guidance, or too much fear. They're afraid of the organic light. They get tricked into doing something else. So put it this way, Anunnaki and the reptilians did multiple things to restrict souls or to trap them or use them how they want to. So instead of the natural cycle, you got put into the reincarnation cycle here on Earth, being trapped here, or you even got trapped into the grid lines. And if you got trapped into the grid lines, you haven't even been reincarnating at all. You've been stuck serving dark purposes and basically torturing Mother Gaia, or getting stuck in other people's bodies, or getting stuck in, the houses or structures or inanimate objects and things of that nature. All those type of souls, any stuck souls, whether you're in a reincarnation cycle, or you're being blocked from ascension, like ascending to higher dimensions or other planets, or you're stuck in the grid lines as trauma energy to help maintain a low vibrational energy. All of those souls need to be assisted to the light and reconnected to their higher selves. So in the natural cycle, souls return to the light and continue on their soul expansion, whether on Earth or another planet. Originally was a choice of your higher self, still is if you did not lose the connection to your higher self. Understand that this whole being able to control anybody is by severing or interfering, disrupting the connection to the higher self. Trauma is a great way to do that. Confusion, distortion, deceit, manipulation, dark magic is a great way to do that. That's another thing you can never convince me or make me understand why anybody would choose to use dark magic. Because especially the indigenous, especially the aboriginal, your planet was taken over by the use of dark magic and dark entities, and then you turn around and start using dark magic yourself to further add your energy to your captors and your conquerors. This is not healthy. You could only be deceived or manipulated that way if you have not done sufficient healing. Use of dark magic for any means ultimately is not in your highest interest and not in the highest interest of your ascended ancestors or Mother Gaia, period. This is using the energy of your conquerors. This is not acceptable. And it won't get you anywhere. It will cause you pain, whether you feel it now or later. Plain and simple. There's no other way around it. You can't spin it some other way, because if you're trying to spin it, that's your ego or a dark entity in the first place. So the Anunnaki, another part of the Anunnaki creation story of Enki and Eno. Enki and Eno. I want to be clear about something else. The majority, if not all, pretty much all, except for maybe some truth that's coming out now, but even your ancient stories, and then you have to think of even those that believe they're tapping into ancient energies or stories. What's ancient to you? What's ancient? 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 100,000 years? Like, how far back are you going? And then even you're talking about your conquerors conquering, whether or not it was Lemuria, whether or not it was Atlantis, whether or not it was Egypt. They always infiltrate your truth. They will always pervert your truth. So when you're talking about Anunnaki creation stories, why would you go to your conquerors to find out the creation story or the history of Earth? It makes absolutely no sense. So since I've been here this incarnation, I really have not been guided to look up very many histories or stories of the Earth. Why? Because the majority of them are distorted. There's no purpose to even read them, especially an Anunnaki story. And I think it's a good point to point out that even the idea, this story is a distortion, an example of duality belief systems. The idea that one has to be right and one has to be wrong is duality in the first place. The belief that, one has to be right, one has to be wrong is a distortion. It's an example of duality. They were both fallen. They were both disconnected from their higher selves in the light. So neither one of their perspectives or how they wanted to take over the planet was in alignment with light. Neither one. Neither one of them were for the benefit of Mother Gaia. Neither one of them were for the benefit of humanity. You cannot be a benefit to anybody, including yourself, if you are disconnected from the light. The dark ones, no matter what group it is, they always have infighting within their groups because it is a reflection of their own inner conflict. But yet you hear so many people talking about, well, this faction left this faction and this one's warring against this faction, so one of them must be good. No, they're all distorted and need healing. That's why they're fighting, because it is a reflection of their own inner conflict and their disconnection from the light. And as long as they are disconnected from the light and not healing, they cannot provide you with truth or any information that's going to be of true benefit to you, because it's going to be manipulated and distorted. They aren't connected to their higher selves, so they don't have a higher perspective of what is going to benefit any race of beings, humans or Mother Gaia. That's not what they came here for. They came here to pillage, to rape, to destroy, to take the elements, to mine, to take over the planet, to consume its atmosphere, to consume the beings on this planet. And this ain't the first planet they did it to. So neither perspectives were in service to humanity, Mother Gaia, or the Creator. They then, through DNA manipulation, created their own race of humans in their image. Now, mind you, Well, the history of humankind is really, really long. So is it possible that these different lineages that they created, that they weren't all white or they weren't all Caucasian? It's absolutely possible, because you would hear about different warring within the indigenous tribes. Now, either, of course, they could have been infiltrated. You have dark energy, you have dark spirits, you have sorcerers, you have the whispering spirits, you have entities, you have possessions. The thing about the 13 blood tribes is that they were able to be possessed because their genes were manipulated to hold the reptilian consciousness. Now, once they started experimenting with all like different lineages through the use of pharmaceuticals and immunizations during World War II, they were able to infiltrate and possess even more people. So they weren't limited to the 13 bloodlines. And also another note on that, every single race, being, lineage, and bloodline is being healed at this time, which means you have starseeds and angelic origin beings incarnating into all the families, all of them, because the only way to restore their DNA and heal them is by incarnating into that family. So, which was my next point. So all beings, races, lineages are being healed at this time to have their connection restored to their higher selves and source. The beings that lost their connections eons ago and chose to connect to AI consciousness and nanites shall return to Source Light Creator for direct healing. They will return. Hopefully you understand what that means if I'm saying they have to return to Source and they're not permitted to stay here on the earth. They're not permitted to keep eating humans. They're not permitted to keep creating clones. They're not permitted to possess humans or to remove their souls. Those things are not permitted, and we should not be making excuses for it. And they're not from Earth. So they have to heal the way that is necessary for them, and understand that Mother Gaia and Source Creator knows better than you. It's okay that they do. I'm thankful they know better than us. Thank the Lord God, Creator, Mother, Father, Source Creator, God, Goddess, that they remember the truth. We're just trying to remember. So it's okay. You know, you might want to rub your ego. It's all right if you thought you knew. I don't know everything, and neither do you. It's just what it is to be here. But there is an aspect of you that does. And it's very important to connect to that aspect. The Cedars are different from the farmer races. The original Cedars of Earth were selected from the Pleiades, Lyra, and Sirius systems. They were receiving instruction from the ancient builder race elders. Some of these ancient builder race elders are also Andromedan elders on creation within the original framework of creation. The Milky Way galaxy before the fall was connected to the Andromedan galaxy. The Andromeda galaxy is the mother father galaxy of the Milky Way galaxy. All planets are seeded from higher planets, in which the original ancient planets and galaxies were created by the ancient builder race angelic source Elohim elders. When the fall occurred, the Milky Way then became its own galaxy, falling from the Andromedan galaxy. According to Corey Good's information, this is when the farmer races came in to set up their experiments, which were not of source direction and operated outside of original creation guidelines. That's why they're considered experiments. Operation outside of original creation guidelines also lead to more soulless creations. According to an Andromedan guide I spoke with in one of the Angelic Universe Regression Alchemy sessions I did, So, let's see. Should we read chapter 3? I was going to read some of this. Or you can read it for yourself, but let's see here. So this is when the serpent begins talking to, Adam and Eve. Let me see here. Well, let's just skip down to the curse. So, according to this, so the Lord God said to the serpent, because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and all wild animals. You will crawl on your belly and you will eat dust all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head and you will strike his heel. Which that alone just doesn't even make sense in the first place. Like I said, Mother, Father, Source, Creator don't deal in black magic or curses in the first place. There would be no sense to curses on creation. We are one, we're all energy, that type of thing. So the woman, he said, I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor, you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband. He will rule over you. To Adam, he said, because you listened to your wife and ate fruit from the tree about which I commanded you, you must not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you will return. So from the messages I received, that whole part right there is one big long curse against humankind and Mother Gaia herself. Now, mind you, let's explore these topics. See what information you receive from your higher self and your guides. Ask them to expand on this. What do they mean by this? These are topics for exploration. All I can tell you is what I was assisting in transmuting. And this was the energy and the messages that were coming forward. So another thing that was interesting, the Andromedan Dragon. I've actually read this card more than once, and I've pulled it for myself and multiple people. And I was aware, I had noticed that the Andromedan Dragon is holding a cricket. And like I said, I've read this card multiple times, but it wasn't until recently when I actually started connecting to more benevolent insects, such as the cricket, cicadas, and the praying mantis, and the mantis beings, that I realized that crickets are from Andromeda. The mantis beings actually are like first line of defense for the earth's trees and the roots. A lot of the insects are the benevolent ones. Some of the insects have been created or manipulated by the dark ones, such as we believe locusts are, likely crickets infused with dark energy, or it could be the praying mantis, it could be the mantis beings infused with dark energy and they became locusts. Just as wasps are bees that have been, focused with dark energy. DNA manipulation, they became wasp. This has been done with several different insects. And then some might have just been created, such as like stink bugs, fleas, ticks, flies, mosquitoes. Like these insects serve no purpose, and probably certain spiders and things of that nature are not benevolent and aren't natural and will not exist as we ascend the planet. They will be returned to source. Like energy like that's been, focused with dark energy and infiltrated, that is still energy, but it will return to the light of source, creator source energy, to be restored, healed, and repurposed. So I hope that helps with the understanding. So even the crickets actually sing a song of love All the stars in the constellation of Andromeda embody a beautiful love and acceptance beyond our current understanding. This is why, if you pay attention, some of us Andromedans, even the Andromeda angelics, are extremely loving. The seventh dimensional dusty pink dragons from Andromeda carry the vibration of transcendent love. If we are ready for their light, they circle around us. And when they pour this special energy into our chakras, our aura is illuminated by a glorious pink light. These dragons also work with crickets who come from the same constellation or galaxy. Their song carries the codes of higher love from Andromeda, and their mission is to bathe the natural world in this vibration. Beautiful. So I hope you have found this helpful. As I said, let's explore these topics. Post comments in the, post your comments, or what you find out, message me directly. Like I said, I do have a meditation group. You're welcome to join that if you would like to message me directly. Let me see. I also have an Ascension group. I have several things that I'm working on. And also I will be sharing more information about the next certification I'm working on. As it seems to be quarterly classes. And it is a meditation certificate. Even though I lead, I'm able to lead meditation now, it helps to certify so you can assist in the public arena, especially when you're working with nonprofits. They like to see that you actually have certificates versus you just saying, like, well, I'm a galactic medicine woman, So I would appreciate your help in obtaining this specific certificate as a happiness meditation facilitator. I will put information about that as well. So I love you and I honor you. I appreciate you for doing your work.